Let's talk about the practicalities of deschooling your homeschool. Popular word, kind of uncertain what deschooling means at times, especially when you're hearing everyone talk about it and you're like, what exactly is that? Okay, so quick interpretation from me off the top of my head, getting out of a school mindset so that we can facilitate an education for our kids at home, an individualized education, in a way that is not conventional. That's all. I'd love your thoughts. Throw them in the comments down below. Did you see the Deschool Your Homeschool checklist? If you haven't, you can find it in the link in my bio. I asked on an unschooling page on Facebook for someone to share about their intuitive principles in how to deschool their homeschool. And I love what she said, and I really love how she framed it in her own experience with her 10-year-old child. So I'm going to share it with you. She said, and her name is Amma, she said, here's a good example. My child, 10, who is interested in felting, showed me a kit that she wanted. I have never heard of felting. I researched what it was, then ordered her a beginner's felting kit. I helped her find YouTube videos on felting and other fabric arts. I bought her felting supplies. I put her in a felting group to make friends and do felting and share ideas on how to do it. I take photos of her creation and encourage her to keep learning. During the felting class, online class, I've heard her talk about geography, birds, sharing ideas with kids all over the world. I also bought her some books on felting, researched other things on domestic arts like fiber arts, and helped her find artists working in the area. I facilitated her interests in the way that adults do, and I encourage her to keep up with her own interest and celebrate what she creates. Another child was asking her for a felted ferret, and she was thinking she could make them and sell them. She made one for her friend as a gift, but she was thinking of maybe starting a business. I've tried felting too, and it's actually pretty fun, so my child's interest enriched mine. Wow. Like, that is so cool. And I specifically wanted to choose her child's ideas, felting, because I haven't had a child with felting. I've seen felting. I know that's popular in a Waldorf approach, or at least in the school that's in our area. But taking an interest that definitely is not something you would typically see in a school, and running with it and expanding it and encouraging it, and not to my surprise, even turning it into an entrepreneurial thing, because that is a homeschool thing to do. Long enough, if you've been in homeschool long enough, at least one of your kids has tried to earn money making, slime. That was 2 of my kids, had a huge Instagram account. There's been YouTube channels, there's been all sorts of things. And that was all just from somebody's interest in felting. I think that we can take our kids' interests and create an education around them too. So in the Deschooling Your Homeschool class that I'm going to do on March 31st, you can join me in that. You can find the sign up in the link in my bio as well. We're going to take our kids' interests, the ones that presently have, write them down, because we're going to be observing what our kids are doing over the course of this week or 2 weeks, right? And we're going to be writing down what their interests are, and we're going to determine how we can create a very detailed education that we may or may not include in our real homeschools. But when we learn how to do it, when we put it into real practice, then we can get very comfortable with the idea of creating a very fulfilled, rounded, and individualized education for our kids. So, if you haven't done it already, grab your Deschool, your homeschool checklist in the link in my bio. And if you have ideas in your own homeschool where you have done this and you've run with it, even if you didn't know that's what you were doing, put it in the comments section down below and I'll chat about it. Talk to you soon.